Materials supplied by Microsoft Corporation may be used for internal review, analysis, or research only. Any editing, reproduction, publication, rebroadcast, public showing, internet, or public display is forbidden and may violate copyright law.
Today he will introduce a lot of good applications in Japan, so let's welcome Professor Shibasaki.
Thank you very much for your very kind introduction. I'm Ryosuke Shibasaki from the Center for Spatial Information Science, the University of Tokyo. Let me also start with some sort of introduction of cities. I found this article in the Scientific American or Nikkei Scientific, that is a kind of Japanese translation version. And anyway, this picture is very attractive. Where knowledge is created, that is a city, and also probably the power of cities. Actually, the city is a place where the people get together to create knowledge and also the new values. But at the same time, by attracting so many people in a very limited place, actually we may encounter some kind of problems like a traffic jam, air pollution, and also some sort of the vulnerability to the, for example, disasters. Actually, for example, in our case, for the Japanese, for example, we have a very high risk of the very devastating natural disasters, typically earthquake and also the, for example, tsunami. I believe for example, big data from cities have a very good contribution to support the disaster responses. For example, this is a kind of real examples. For example, here. Actually, this is the movie of the Japanese people movement on the day when we had a very serious earthquake, March 11, 2011. And this GPS data are collected through the mobile phone navigation services. It includes the 1.5 million people in Japan, and the location is measured in every 5 minutes. So you may see a lot of people go to the center of Tokyo. After the morning rush hour is over, you may see actually this concentration is the Tokyo Disneyland. And also you may see this is kind of airport. And actually the earthquake struck Japan to 46. Okay. Then the epicenter is a little bit far from Tokyo. We have no physical damages, but still, all the railway services stopped. So that means we have to walk from office to home, usually 10 or 20 kilometers. So you may see a lot of people marching along with their trunk load until the very late at night, or even the very early in the morning time, the next day. By looking at this, yes, of course, the various different kinds of organizations, agencies, can easily understand the severity of this kind of disaster, and probably that provides a very good motivation for collaboration, and also these information might be useful for better informed decision making, even for the, let's say, the citizens. Yes. And also this kind of data covers entire Japan, like this. Anyway, again, it's very early in the morning. So in the morning, people start moving. For example, you can see like this. But anyway, due to limitation time, let me just stop here. And also in the coastal areas, that is closer to the epicenter, actually was struck by tsunami. This is the Senta International Airport of the coastal zones. It's completely inundated. By looking at the GPS data, actually we could monitor how the people behave or evacuate from the devastating tsunami. This is the morning of the Sendai city, and this is the coastlines. And actually, due to the tsunami, those areas are completely, for example, inundated. Again, the earthquake struck this region to 46 p.m. When the earthquake occurred, all the electric power supply stopped and traffic signals gone. So you may see that the speed of the people movement slowed down. And 1 hour later, tsunami struck these regions. You may see that some people evacuating from tsunami. And even after the tsunami strike, you can see the cluster of points. Actually, this is the location of the terminal building of the Sendai International Airport. Anyway, they evacuated to the buildings. You may see there is almost no points in the evening on that day when tsunami struck this region. And those kind of data actually are acquired on almost the real-time basis for every day. So I believe that this kind of data will be very, very useful for supporting the emergency responses, governmental organizations, police, and the fire departments, and even for the individual enterprises or companies and also the people. And as I mentioned, this is a kind of long-term GPS data, so we can even see how the people move their residents from the Fukushima nuclear power plant areas to the other cities. So actually, all the people within this circle actually moved to the different places. So that means we can even monitor how they live their lives after the long-term evacuation from that very tragic nuclear power plant accident. So anyway, the visualization and also some sort of the information sharing could be one of the important bases for the smarter management of cities, for disasters, or for the environment, for anyway, the transportation, let's say functions or something like this by accelerating this kind of cycle plan to see or check and also the adjust. And this is almost like a common sense, but actually I could find another very interesting example. Again, the same Scientific American. The article has the title, How New York Beat Crimes. Anyway, probably I have not enough time to talk about this, but still, for the past 20 years, the crime rate has decreased very much. But on the other hand, many people believe that the poor drug addicts have much higher tendency to commit the crime. But during that period, those kind of statistics, death by drug abuse or poverty ratio, have not so much decrease or decline. But on the other hand, according to this article, one of the kind of monitoring systems that is called CompStat. It's a kind of almost like some sort of the real-time statistics on the crime, including the location and also crime types. So by sharing and also visualizing such kind of data, actually chief of the police department, individual district police department, actually sit down in front of the display, and actually their performance are evaluated and also compared. Anyway, through this kind of process, many different ideas and also countermeasures are implemented and also evaluated. Due to such kind of cycles, actually they finally come up with very good ideas at some sort of hotspot theory, and that enabled the police to allocate more cops to the hotspot where the people attempted into, say, anyway, crimes. So actually, it's some sort of the process of making people or making city management smarter through the, let's say, timely data acquisition, visualization, and also the analysis. And in addition to just the visualization of the GPS data, we may, let's say, support the decision making better through some sort of a little bit deeper analysis. This is a kind of raw data, but by examining such kind of GPS data, we can have a kind of approximate estimation information and also some sort of the activity types, including the transportation model they use, like this. And once the home labels, home location are estimated, actually we can aggregate the GPS points by individual administrative boundaries based on their estimated home locations. So anyway, based on by aggregating that, we could create a kind of mobile population statistics. This is a comparison of the real, or anyway, the formal national census for individual districts, and also the horizontal axis correspond to the aggregated GPS data by home location. So you may see a very good kind of correlation, although there are some kind of outliers. Actually, those areas is what we call a night town, where many people work during night for restaurants or the snacks or the bars, or something like this. But nevertheless, through this kind of analysis, we could determine a kind of weight of individual GPS points. That means here, by multiplying the GPS data by around 86.165, we can have some sort of the estimation of the real number of the people, of course, in terms of the nighttime population. So anyway, through this kind of analysis, we can provide a kind of quantitative quality of the analysis for GPS data. In addition to that, we have a lot of embedded sensors into the social infrastructure. That is, for example, IC tickets. And when we take the railway, we have to go through this kind of gate. It's an automated gate for counting the people. So anyway, by using such kind of people counting data, we can have a better estimate again. And anyway, this is a kind of conceptual, the pictures or illustrations. So by integrating different kinds of observation data, we can have a better estimation. And this kind of data integration for the estimation could be implemented under the framework of something like data simulation or some sort of the particle filtering or the four-dimensional variational optimization or something like this. So anyway, we are now trying implementing such kind of ideas. Here, the particles are generated by the discrete choice model of the human, of the individuals. Anyway, it's trying to describe how the people moves within the 24 hours. And using such kind of simulation models, we could create particles. And the relative weight of those particles could be determined by comparing with the observational data. So then, through such kind of data simulation process, the errors could be reduced very drastically, even for the stations. Anyway, the kind of number of the passengers at each stations. And also, we can have a better estimation even for the road traffic, let's say, the volume, by integrating such kind of observational data. This is the kind of result. Okay. And so far, we have just talked about the GPS data acquired in Japan, but the similar kind of mobile phone system, of course, available outside of Japan, almost all over the world. This is a kind of visualization of the mobile phone data, cell tower data from the Dhaka, Bangladesh. We are working for the Gramophone for fighting with the flooding, because the Bangladesh is a sort of the department store of very serious natural disasters ranging from flooding, cyclones, drought, and also sometimes an earthquake. And what we are doing is, anyway, on this part, sending the warning information to the cellular phone users. Actually, around 60% of the entire population of Bangladesh have a cellular phone. And actually, in sending this kind of warning information to them, we have to identify the location of the recipients. So anyway, for obtaining such kind of information, we are working with Gramophone to analyze the CDL, call detail record data, to have the approximate location of individual recipients. And that data includes the 3 billion people just 1 month. But anyway, we are now expanding the collaboration with Gramophone. And anyway, for example, even in this case, you may wonder about the privacy violations or concerns. But in case of the Bangladesh, there is no other method of collecting information for supporting the data response rather than the cell phone. So this is completely anonymized, and also some sort of aggregated data actually have arrived. Okay, so time is up. So this is the final slide. And actually, in handling such kind of data for the smarter city management, we have to take care of the personal information. Actually, when we visit or when we reside in the smart city, we expect that we have personalized service, very smart services. But for such kind of services, the service providers may require some sort of identification and also some sort of the personal information. And in that process, we may have some sort of a privacy concern that actually provides a very serious limitation to the service. So what we are anyway discussing about is why not having or establish a kind of bank that have your account of the personal information, so that this bank will manage data very transparent and the trust and also mutual benefit principles. And under such kind of agreements, this information bank may provide personal information to the service providers. So that means if you agree to have an account here in the information bank, you can have a kind of passport for the smart city. And by showing that, you can have very personal